Hello, welcome to our expense management solution for expense management beforehand planning, during the control, after the analysis, provides budgeting, reimbursement payment, loan and repayment management, etc. The financial department can efficiently and conveniently manage the expense budget review and the expense budget amount, supervise the preparation and adjustment of the budget, review the reimbursement of the expenses and payment, check the expenses of the relevant data reports to achieve the organization expense management and standardization of financial management. Expense budget module. We provide the query of expense budget information and in the query interface, support for rapid initiation of adjustments, support for the process of expense implementation form to penetrate the query, support for timely updating of the data results, support for the budget of the initial amount of money, adjusted amount of money, the amount used, the amount in transit, the amount of money available to carry out automatic calculations. First of all, it provides the entry of the expense budget review so that the financial department can uniformly enter the budget amount and also supports the departments to initiate the approval of the expense budget amount according to the budget review. When entering the budget amount, it can be specified as a proportion of the total budget value, as the alarm of the budget amount using the critical value to remind the budget is about to be used up, whether it is required to be adjusted. In the budget adjustment, according to the use of the budget, as well as changes in business development, the amount of the budget for the increase or decrease in practice, in addition to the individual cost for the increase or decrease, but also in the approval of the situation with the department's budget review within a number of costs for the mutual adjustment. For example, found that the travel expenses are more than the hospitality is not enough, then it can be approved, will be the department's. For example, if it is found that there are more traveling expenses and not enough hospitality expenses, then the department's traveling expenses can be reduced and hospitality expenses increased with approval. The next step is the implementation of expenses through a structured online process. The implementation of the financial system for the use of expenses and the monitoring of the process of expense use can be provided for the reimbursement of expenses for different business scenarios to deal with. For example, business trip reimbursement, support the approval of the associated business trip application to ensure that travel occurs after approval, to reduce the risk of travel reimbursement, approval of expenditure. Reimbursement application to fill in the request. The request is based on the department to which the expense belongs to. Select the budget department, the departmental expenses, fill in the details, support the uploading of expense attachments as the basis for reimbursement. At the end of the process, the personal ledger can be updated. In the actual cost implementation process, there may be employees first through the form of loaning, and then through the expense reimbursement to offset the borrowing. After the borrowing process end can be in the expense reimbursement. Read personal borrowing records. Bring out the amount owed by the individual and the reimbursement of the amount of the calculation. Offsetting. When the borrowing has not been used up or borrowing did not use the time, the need to return initiated the borrowing restitution application after the actual collection of the finance, the approval process to complete the personal loan account clearance. The entire borrowing and repayment, including expense reimbursement offset, will form the borrowing ledger, support data linkage, penetration query, so that the personal current account, not only to ensure that the account is consistent with the reality, but also to ensure the effectiveness of the process of approval. You can automatically generate the system's preset query. Statistical reports, intuitive charts and graphs show the form, focusing on the key elements of cost management for the cost management of the relevant personnel to quickly provide reports and analyses as a reduction of costs and increase the revenue of the data support for accurate budgeting to lay a solid data foundation. In conclusion, our expense management adopts a brand new interaction and presets an exclusive workspace for the finance department, which makes the business more focused and the operation more convenient. Through effective expense management, we help organizations better monitor and control expenses, identify unnecessary expenses, and find opportunities to save costs.